What the hell am I doing with my life? Anyway, greetings ponies and Pegasus, this is the Watchful pony here. It's time to end the month of love with the most lovely thing I can think of, a lust-filled game about picking up women. So to end this, we're talking about Huniepop. Okay, first of all, is it Huniepop or Huniepop? Because it's very clearly spelled Huniepop, but everyone I know pronounces it Huniepop. Okay, forget it, it's not important. Let's just get to the review proper. This is Huniepop. Well, I suppose there's no better place to start with than with the story. Our story for this is one night you, yes, specifically you, not some random character, you specifically, are out at some bar lounge. That is until this girl in a dress approaches you. And basically, all your dialogue options give you the option to come off as socially awkward as hell. But then after you leave the bar lounge and head to your bed, surprise, you're visited by a love fairy. This is Q, and it's her job to help you get laid. And after introducing you to the mechanics of the game, she gives you this special cell phone and you go off girl hunting. And honestly, that's pretty much it for the plot. The main plot of the story is just you getting laid. This plot is really nothing new to this type of game, and hell, this type of game isn't even that new at all. Dating sims have been around for as long as I can remember. They've been all over sites like Newgrounds, and in Japan they're apparently even bigger. But as popular as some might get, they don't really gain mass gaming appeal. However, this was the first one to my knowledge to actually get that appeal. Don't get me wrong, it's not A+ blockbuster levels of appeal, but I know a lot of people that have at least heard of the game. Why is that exactly? Well, just like any gooder film, you gotta look past the story. And by that, I mean everything else about the game is the answer to that. Starting with presentation, the art style looks amazing. It literally looks like you stepped into an anime. Every backdrop you're in and every character you meet has just the most vibrant colors on them. Which is a good thing, because if you want to woo these women, you definitely want them to look good. Which brings me to the second great point about this game. The women are actually really great characters. With most dating sims I've played, most if not all the women seem to be just blank slates. Basically just being a hot piece of ass to get your rocks off. And yes, even the ones that are based off actual properties like the Naruto dating sim. Yes, there was a Naruto dating sim. But here, all the women characters are actual characters, each with their own personality, quirks, likes, and dislikes. And not a single one of them honestly comes off as one-dimensional. Hell, even the ones you would think that would come off as one-dimensional don't at all. For example, the token bitch character, you think she's just a token bitch, but she apparently is also really obsessed with aquarium stuff, and secretly has a heart of gold once you win her heart over. Don't get me wrong, she's still gonna be a bitch, but so at least smile. There's also Nikki, the retro video game obsessed 18-year-old loner, Jessie, the cougar porn star who loves Christmas, and then there's Aiko, the sex-crazed teacher who's obsessed with everything Japanese. She's my favorite. Giving them such vibrant personalities honestly gives you more motivation to try and romance them. And how do you romance them by chance? Well, that leads me to number 3, the actual gameplay itself. Most dating sims are set up in the style of an RPG where you ask certain questions from the character. But here, once you actually ask them on a date, there's a full-blown puzzle game you have to complete. And to be perfectly honest, it's pretty freaking fun. And super simplistic, all you really have to do is match certain colors together. But each color also represents a certain aspect that could be a factor on a date. In fact, certain colors affect certain women differently. Some give you a huge boost towards beating the date, and others actually give you a lesser boost. Whereas others, if matched together, decrease points. And some, if matched together, add turns, and there's also gifts you can give to have certain effects. All these little things piling on top of each other adds a new level of strategy. Just like Twilight's Secret Shipwreck, there's a surprising amount of strategy thrown into this. And that's honestly why I ended up enjoying this game so much, because of all the strategy. I honestly got enjoyed playing this puzzle game, and I'm usually not a big fan of puzzle games. Honestly, the only real complaint I can muster up is that the secret non-story characters feel kinda like an afterthought. With the exception of Kiyu and Venus, the other two characters just feel more like gimmicks than actual characters. But honestly, if that's the biggest complaint I can muster, this game is definitely doing something right. And honestly guys, that's as much as I can muster for a review of this. I'm not even kidding, I'm sorry this is so short, but there's not really much else for me to say about it. Can I recommend this game to everybody? Of course not. Some people are going to be bothered by the sexuality, and some people just aren't into puzzle games. However, I will say that if you are into puzzle games and you don't mind the sexuality, definitely give this game a play. And since I'm sure I'm going to get a million questions about it, I might as well give a quick review on Huniepop Studio. And honestly, it's okay. I do like it a lot and I'm glad I played it. My only real complaint is that it feels incredibly bare bones for a Steam game. With Huniepop, it at least earned the price range. But this feels like it should have been either A, a web browser game you play on Newgrounds, or B, the price of one of those mobile games, something very cheap and bare bones. But at the very least, I can say I didn't feel robbed or anything like that. However, I would recommend you wait for a price drop or a sale before you do so. I want to like Huniepop Studio slightly more because I love the type much more. I love management games a lot. But because of how bare bones it is, I only like it as much as Huniepop.
which shouldn't be taken as an insult because I really do like both these games. Huniepop is simplistic enough that a first-time puzzle gamer could play this, but at the same time it gets super complex later in the game that veterans could also enjoy it. And Huniecamp Studio, despite how bare-boned it is, was still a ton of fun to play and is a really good management game, which is why I'm gonna give both games a solid 8 out of 10. Gather some honey, get your money, and get the girl. And next time guys, it's finally time for my 500 subscriber special, and after voting, looks like I'm gonna be singing a lullaby because next time it's Lullaby for a Princess. I'm the Watchful Pony, and this is why I brony. I'll see you guys next time.
Computer, set a sexy course for the sexiest year. 60